Hi everybody, my name is Cindy and I just felt like I needed to make a video. I tried before but I was just too overwhelmed and I started crying. But I think I really need to do this video for everybody since you've all made videos for me and taught me so much. What happened, I have found 3 crosses. The first cross I found was back in the fall of 2003. And this is the cross. My son was with me. Actually, he's the one that found it because he decided to let me drive at the last moment, which is probably a good thing because I probably wouldn't have seen it. But anyway, I have worn this cross just practically every day since then. And the reason why this cross was so special for me, in 2003, right after I turned 49 years old, I had just finished reading the Bible all the way through. I have 5 sons, single mother for many years, never had time to read everything. But because I broke my ankle Friday, December 13th, 2002, I was going into work and I slipped on the ice. And it was a blessing because I got all this time off work and I could finally read the Bible all the way through before I turned half a century old. And then I got rewarded with this cross and I just felt so blessed. So then, anyway, 12 years later, March the 7th of 2015, we had just had a pretty big snowstorm. And I went down to Royal Farms to pick up some milk, a couple things. And I came out and the snow was melting, but it was about a foot deep. And I wanted to be real careful getting into my car because I didn't want to slip and break my ankle again. So I opened the door and then I was checking to see where I could step so I wouldn't slip. And I saw something at the bottom of the snow. And I wear glasses. I didn't have my glasses on. But something told me, see what that is. And it was another cross. It was a little pierced earring cross. It was kind of like a silver color, probably about that big. It wasn't too big. And it had a black onyx stone in it. And so I thought, wow, this is neat. I found 2 crosses now. So I hung it in my car on the chain. One of the other things, well, I have a few things hanging in there. I hung it in there. And that was on a Saturday morning. And then it was which was March 7th of 2015. And then it was either on Monday or Tuesday, which would have either been March the 9th or March the 10th. I went to the car wash and something happened to my cross. It disappeared. So I was like, okay. Well, March 11th, my girlfriend had asked me a week or so before if I wanted to drive up to Christiana with her so she could get some things. And we went into Bed Bath & Beyond. And then we came out, went to Boscov's, and then we were walking down to this shoe store. And I saw something glowing under the overhang in front of Bed Bath & Beyond. And it was this cross. And my girlfriend was with me. It was in a package. It was brand new, but the sun was hitting it and it was just shining, like, just glowing. So, of course, I talked with my girlfriend and, gave her part of my testimony. And I thought, wow, this is really neat. Now, that was March 11th of 2015. And of course, the cross that I had found on March the 7th was at Royal Farms, which is a convenience store. And it's off of Lebanon Road in Dover, Delaware. And this cross I found at Bed Bath & Beyond up in Christiana, Delaware. And I had 2 witnesses. My son was with me for this cross, and my girlfriend was with me for this cross. So I was like, wow, God really loves me, So I was, because I've been, studying the scriptures and all kinds of things. So anyway, then the morning of March the 14th, I had a very short rapture dream. And it was astounding. But then I became overwhelmed, very overwhelmed. And I heard God's voice or Jesus's voice, and he told me to read Psalms. All day, Saturday, March 14th, 2015, he said, read Psalms. And I remember thinking, yes, I'll read Psalms because my life verse is in Psalms. It's Psalms 121, I believe. Let me just check to make sure. Yes, Psalms 121, my life verse. So I figured, okay, well, I'm going to read Psalms, and I took a look, and it's 150 chapters. I was like, wow, this is going to take me a little while. So I decided, well, if I start Sunday night, if I read at least 10 chapters a night, then I could finish within 30 days or so, or sooner. So I read 10 chapters Sunday night. Monday, something came up, so I missed it. Tuesday, I felt guilty. Nobody was home. So I decided to continue reading Psalms, and I decided to stand up and read them and walk back and forth and read them out loud, and I did. And then Wednesday, I did the same thing. And when I got to Psalms 54, that's the year I was born, 1954, I heard his voice again. And he said, I want you to go to Genesis 7 and 8 and read the story of Noah. And I said, okay, I will, but first I want to finish reading Psalms because I always like to finish what I start. He said, no, you can do that later. So I said, okay. So I went to Genesis 7 and 8, and I was reading the story of Noah. And I know people have said no one knows the date and the time and all this, and I noticed all these dates in Genesis 7 and 8. And so I marked them in my Bible. I got a calendar, matched all the dates up with the calendar of 2015 and part of 2016. And, I was just astounded. Now, I did write this paper, quite long, with everything that happened to me. But I decided maybe it'd be better if I just try to tell you, because once I start talking, I get carried away. Let's see. What was I going to tell you? Oh, now I was so hoping that the rapture would be last year around this time, around Hanukkah 2015. But then it didn't happen. And I understand why now. Because in Isaiah 28 verse 10 says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Notice how he repeats things 2 times in here. Now, a lot of places he repeats things 2 or 3 times. This was 2 times. So I was like, okay. Oh, hold on a second.